How are you, sir?
Hanging in there, just praying for my daughter, buddy.
I'm going to go ahead and bring Mr. Wells on. Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances.
That's what this is all about. Prayers. Thank you for all the support. And I know Don has turned a lot of hearts around.
Trying to do everything the best I can, you know.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was my whole life, was coming home to my kids. Prayers for Summer and prayers for everybody. God bless you guys.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone? I hope that everyone is enjoying their morning. Just doing a sound check. Good morning. Good morning. Got the trolls already this morning. Do not disturb looking ass. So, I want to talk about a talk I had. Is everybody cool with that? I want to talk about a talk I had. I first want to preface it by saying that I felt like Miss Wells exhibited an effortless grace last night, and then this morning, someone that I care about deeply. I care about their opinion. I care about, what they think of me. And I would like to take the opportunity to give you what I was given this morning, which was, it was sort of a verification that the way I thought it was handled last night would have been like, this was, for me, it was corroboration that the thing was handled correctly, and that, everything was above the board. Now, for whatever reason this morning, and we'll get to that, I think it's just the nature of the environment here, but I want to take a moment and I want to share something that it was the very first thing I saw this morning. Probably because she had just uploaded this at the time I was waking up. So this really reached out and struck me in a way that was just a true corroboration to me. It was like, okay, I'm not the only one with logic and reason and intelligence that was a part of that conversation and saw it happening the way I saw it happening. So without further ado, I will ask that, can I get a moderator to put Chasing Truths link in the chat, please? Actually, I can do it. If you're not subscribed to Chasing Truth, which I believe this morning would be a complete and implausible situation. Everyone is subscribed to Chasing already, I hope. Okay. Good morning, ladies. Good morning to all of you. So this will be the first thing I run. No need in the fair use, as this is my friend. I'm very proud of. Whoa, where are we at?
How are you, sir?
Hanging in there, just praying for my daughter.
Hold the phone, guys. Okay. And doggone it, it started without. Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. The damn thing just started on its own. From what I understand, he's not went to court for the. Okay. Moving forward. Thank you, guys. I genuinely do not know what the hell just happened. So.
Good morning, everybody. I just finished listening to the call with Candace. It was a rough call. So what is Candace up to? She is doing construction in the house. I guess she's finished her bathroom. She's trying to work on the basement. She's trying to hang drywall on her own. I don't know how that really works, but that's what she's trying to do. She's talking about missing summer and hoping that whoever has summer brings her home, and how she's buying summer stuff still. But then Benny says something. Benny says, and have time to miss everything else, right? Because she's talking about summer. So my interpretation was he meant and miss everybody else, the boys and Dawn, and, you know. And she replies with something that I think will probably be analyzed a lot on YouTube. I have to put her aside. But first she says, I really don't want to say this, because of course no mother wants to have to put their missing child aside while they deal with the rest of their life, because life absolutely goes on whether we want it to or not. Our lives.
Thank you so much, gorgeous. Thank you.
Go on every day, and we all care about summer. But she does have 3 boys in the system, and the system does require certain things in order for those boys to come back home.
Absolutely, queen.
So she's trying to do those things, right? And I think with Don there, it was probably a lot harder to get those things done because he was very angry about everything and stressed out all the time. So maybe a ton didn't get done. So now she's focused. She did not sound drunk to me at all.
Me either.
But anyway, she says, I've got to kind of put her to I have to put her to the side. And the boys are still living. And then she says, in foster care, or they're in foster care. Now, the living part, I know people are going to really jump on that, right?
So we have to remember that for 8 months now, well, for the better part of 7.5 months, the internet has told this woman that by statistically, her child is probably no longer with us. So I would say to anyone that finds that statement a little fishy, I would say that your programming and patterning of this woman has been successful. Okay. Just because she says focus on her boys that are living doesn't mean that she thinks summer is dead. You have to remember all of the things floating around in Candace's mind. Okay. If the poor woman were to keep hope, you people would continue to bash and bash and bash. So I guess at this point in the game, it's always going to be easier for a victim caught in this chronology right now to lose hope. If I had anything to say to the parents, the victims, the secondary victims of an abduction or any crime or crisis having to do with a child, of course, this is very sarcastic. But with that being said, immediately you need to lose hope. To go along with the YouTube algorithm and the bullshit that goes on here, you need to lose your hope immediately. That way you'll be on the same accord as the YouTube. I mean, in fact, you might as well start bashing yourself, and then you'll be part of the group.
That the way I heard it and the way other people will hear it are probably different.
Yes, Queen, you heard it with sober, logical ears.
I mean, who wouldn't lose hope after 8 months? You know, there's probably a part of her inside that's dead, thinking, she's never going to come home. She's never going to come home. And then there's the other part.
Tracy, you know what makes that a real thing? YouTube, love. I know you know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I know this. But we do know that the YouTube has been the very weapon that has rendered them useless, trying to handle their own hope. Their hope is far too heavy now. It's got YouTubers attached to it.
Or the mother instinct who says somehow she will come home, right? And I'll have all these toys waiting for her, and everything will be okay again. You know that?
I fucking love this woman. Like, this woman, she should be the mother to all children in the world because she gives such great advice. Like, this woman is leaps and bounds above most of us skinwalkers down here. Something very special about this woman. That's why I think we can clearly see that's why she's been chosen for this position, right? She is certainly 100% qualified when most of us are not. This woman here, she stands in the gap, not just for the Wells family or due process rather, which just automatically by proxy means the Wells family, but she stands in the gap for so many families. This is not her first rodeo. This woman has picked it up and put it down for just about every high-profile family, and she's been a factor. She's been a real factor in the chase for hope and closure and all of the things that are intangible that we try to provide these families with while they're going through the worst days and months of their lives. Can you imagine Candace after 8 months in 1 day today, every single day? We lose our mind if we lose our cigarette lighter or our keys, or, you know, let's say the dog gets out of the gate. Like, we lose our minds when it's something inanimate like keys or, you know what I mean? It just, we lose our minds if we leave our phone at the house. We will turn around on a one-way highway going 90 miles an hour the wrong way to get our damn iPhones.
That's probably what I would be like, just buying stuff and hoping. I don't know, man. Anyway.
You hear that? That's chasing the beautiful Tracy saying she too would probably do the same thing Candace is doing in the way of buying, still continuing to buy these children things. You can already see that chasing believes that the mind state that Candace is in is very acceptable. And in fact, it's very, very normal. I think that it would be highly abnormal for Candace to remain keeping focus, the absolute focus, Summer, the absolute focus, because she does have 3 boys that we do know about these boys. We know that they're alive. We know, some of us know where they are. We know that they're safe. We know that Candace is making an everyday fight. Sometimes days got a bigger push. Sometimes the days have a smaller push. But the push right now is to bring the boys home, because we know that that is an achievable task. In fact, there are things that Candace can do physically with her own hands to speed up the process. Okay? Now, we have to understand that if Candace sits around and remains in a manic depressive state, I would say with bipolar characteristics, do we want her to stay in that state because it makes us feel better as YouTubers? Or do we want her to stay there so that we have more to cover? Right? Now, partially, last night was for Prayer Garden. Now, Prayer Garden, I'm not sure what you got going on, hon, but the way you're doing it is not the way. Okay? And that's all I'm going to say.
The police have to handle the search for Summer. Candace can't do that.
There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of law enforcement agents, as well as over 100 law enforcement organizations doing this. What can Candace do other than relay information that she can hear or that she's told? She has no handcuffs. She has no gun. She can do nothing in the way of directing or organizing searches at this point in the game. What she can do for her daughter is stay out of the way. That's what we need Candace to do, and she's been doing it. Staying out of the way.
She can't. We have to rely on law enforcement to figure this out, and I hope that they do.
And what's very interesting is that Candace realized that there's not much she can do before the rest of all of this genius community. I myself have known this for quite a while. Tracy, she's known this for quite a while. This should not be new news to us. At this point in the game, for people to say, oh God, Candace doesn't search.
You know, it's 8 months now. But here's the call.
I fucking love this woman because she had the fortitude and the gall and the audacity to come out here and put out this statement right here. First of all, let me tell you what. The beautiful Chasing has, in a way, ventured into what I would consider a very prestigious, I mean, she's already been there, but she just showed her grace in many, many ways. First of all, she's essentially stood up against the community and did it in her bathrobe this morning. This was very important to her to get this out, right? Secondly, she put my name in the title, which I know is hard for most anyone to do that likes to be taken seriously. Okay? I fall in this strange realm where I'm not afraid to fill the internet with smoke. And I'm also not afraid to put on my suit and my oxygen tanks and come in here and put out fires as well. So I super duper duper applaud Tracy for coming out and having the courage and the bravery to do what she's doing this morning, because it's not just her speaking out about what she believes really happened with the call. She's also solidifying me in a way where she's saying, I support what happened last night, and I support it in the way, in the light in which the construct was designed.
You can listen for yourself.
I am doing the best I can right now.
So, I'm not going to play this version. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump on over here to mine. Now, what I want to point out here really quick is Tiffany. Tiffany, we just had a really, really long, big talk about ethics and suffering and grieving and how we should behave when covering people who are grieving. This is what I'll say to you, Tiffany. Pick a way you got to choose, or you're going to fuck around and lose. Okay? I'm tired of your shit. The fucking internet is tired of your shit. We don't care what you fucking think anymore. Weaving and crocheting yourself in and out of this situation while you're over there babysitting Ernie Shell. You are not a true crimer, and you suck at drama as well. I don't know what good you are here for. But it has to fucking stop, Tiffany. No one cares. You've got all these fucking subscribers, and you can't even hardly get no play on a community post when you're bashing these people. That's like 1% of your whole audience that agrees with that shit. You need to fucking stop it. I'm fucking tired. Okay? One day you're like, oh, I feel different because I talked to Benny on my stream. And then she'll go, it's not reporting. I don't know what you call this stuff. But it's certainly not reporting. It's certainly not advocacy. I don't know what you call this shit. I really don't. I really don't. And then to follow it up, like you're still obsessed with Ziggy. Like, who cares? Can the two of you ball up around each other and then roll off to some corner of this community where we don't have to look at you? Okay? Like two porcupines trying to mate. Roll off in a corner somewhere like Sonic the Hedgehog and do your business over there where somebody gives a shit, okay? Because we don't give a shit anymore. I'm trying to find out when the hell we gave a shit. And I wanted to do this with no cursing, but I am fucking tired of this shit. Right? Let me tell you what, Tiffany. If she said that she was keeping Summer as the focus, the main focus, you just make a post and say, yeah, but what about the boys? Because that's what you do. There is no, you create lose-lose situations for everything you cover. What it shows is an inability for you to make a decision based upon the skills and qualifications it takes to be an activist or an advocate or even a self-mandated reporter. You are not a self-mandated reporter. What you did was you took the information that Brad spewed and vomited in your ear about this little girl being in Indiana and the police knowing about it. What she did was she held on to it for 4 or 5 days. Then she reported it to the TBI, and after she reported it, 4 hours later, she came online and exposed everything about that call. Do you know that in 4 hours, Tiffany, they weren't even able to fucking put one detective on what you've done? You are disgusting. And you know what? In the beginning, I said, hey, I'm not going to chastise Tiffany about the bones because she wasn't the chief offender. But let me tell you what, after further review and a replay of the play, you are the chief offender because you knew better than what she was doing. but you went ahead and you hypocritically did it again. That makes you a double offender because you knew right before wrong, and then you saw her do it and you wanted to take the lead on that. That is disgusting, Tiffany. You're gross. And I'm glad you're hung up with AB so the rest of the world doesn't have to worry about you domestically fucking up any other men's in America. With us. Bear with us. Bear with us. Bear with us. 1 moment, please. 1 moment. I didn't want to come here and do this. Not about her. But this shit is stupid, Tiffany. You got to pick a way. You definitely have to pick a way. This on for summer, but holding on to information for 5 days before you report it, and then only giving the police 4 hours to make a move. Don't you know that in 4 hours they could hardly have time to get an officer from a department in Indiana to go over and clear that call? You are a sodomite. Everything cool. Everything. You know what? Let's just do it this way. How about I just call you? That's going to be way easier. Sick of you this morning. I'm going to call you, okay? Not to mention, when you have a positive stream, you can't even touch the numbers we can do. And we do this over here for free. No ads. Not one ad are you ever going to see on this channel ever. And we are clear up by 1.5 million views. And didn't make a red cent doing it from YouTube. I dare any of you to try to do that. All of you except for Chasing Truth or Fizzle. Let me see you try to do that. Hey, are you getting it figured out, or you want to just do it over the phone? Over the phone is fine? Okay, cool.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not that smart.
You know what? There's many people much smarter than me that have a hard 616 stand up. Hard time figuring that out. So don't think that. How you doing tonight, this evening?
I've been crying all night.
I can hear it in your nose. You know what? She's been crying all night. Was a whole bunch of people that was laughing all night at the fact that she was crying.
She's been crying for
8 months and 1 day now. 8 months and 1 day she's been crying. And these folks got the ability and the gall to say she hasn't cried. Guess what? I guess it's only considered crying if you do it online, huh?
Sorry.
You're all right. Do you have the YouTube on?
I was phone fine with me.
Yeah, I think you got your YouTube on your phone on. Can you mute that one out?
Well, I got the one going on my computer and the one going on my phone. So.
I'm going to tell you this. After this live, I'm going to spend the rest of the morning snatching down channels that use this audio, period. Period. Because no one used this correctly. No one went in here and broke it down correctly for fair use. What they did was they ran it from start to end. So I want to let you know right now, if there's somebody in the chat, if your favorite creator used this audio last night or today, you need to go tell them Benny's on the snatch. I'm coming for you. I'm taking channels. And I'm going to the chief offenders first. And you know who you are.
Say I'm going to the biggest ones first.
I'm going to the biggest ones first. Mama Keys just said so, looking ass.
Just mute the computer.
I want to take all of your channels down. All of them. And if you keep playing, I will. I assure you. Ask Doug at No Thanks. Ask AB. We know the cheat code. And the cheat code is using the TOS against yourselves. I can't wait to snatch a channel this morning. And I hope that I get to snatch some East Coast channels, if you dig me. Some real New England channels I'm on the hunt for. I've got a hook baited for a New England channel. Treble hook in the lip. Drag you into... It's the goal.
Praying for my daughter.
Now I'm here. I'm just having some issues. I don't know why this joker keeps doing that, but it is. And I'm pissed. Nothing is really working right this morning. I'm really ready to just shut the bitch down.
But maybe you should do a whole session, go and search all the children who have committed suicide because of either internet bullying or school
Since
bullying.
day one. You're right. I should. We just had a little 12-year-old boy here in America kill himself because he was being bullied at school.
Yeah, but that's not a brand new thing. Do they not understand what bullying looks like? They wouldn't tolerate someone to do it against them, obviously. They wouldn't tolerate, hopefully, anyone to do it against their children.
You would hope so. But, fuck. Who knows? It's all foobar now.
One of the times when I was talking to Aunt Debbie yesterday, I was watching the news and somehow I must have pushed another channel and I don't know what channel I was on. I assume it was a religious channel.
What the hell?
I'll tell you later.
No, I'm listening. I'm talking this thing won't
No,
work.
I know, but if you're,
It's
you
really
maybe
giving
you
me problems.
multitask better than I do.
It's
Attached to your phone for the internet?
no. The
Or
house.
to the house.
Yeah.
Try going from your phone. But anyway, he was being interviewed because he had written a new book. And one of the questions that he was asked is, why do you believe the world is in the state that it is right now? And he just biblically went right down. You know, it's like people have turned their back on God.
Yes, they have. And then they make fun of the people that reach out to God.
Mm-hmm. And so when you turn your back on God, he allows you.
Yeah. He'll let you.
He'll let you. Okay. So what we have done is we have unleashed evil into our world.
I don't know why I'm not getting any sound now either. This is a fucked up morning. I don't know what's going on.
Well, maybe someone is trying to hack you.
Probably.
So turn it down so they
check. I don't know. I don't have any sound here. Oh, wait, it's in my earbuds. What a bad morning, guys.
Well, at least you realized it.
Check. I don't know. I don't have any sound here. All right. I don't know. It's just quite a morning. Were you did you want to finish telling your story, Mom?
About the Duck Brothers?
Yeah.
Well, I would implore you to, I'm sure it's probably on YouTube,
Yeah.
to go listen to it so that I'm not parroting back wrong information.
Okay. We will.
But
That is a cat.
Miss
Kitty. Hey, Cam. Good morning, Cam and Allie. I just, so fired up from waking up. It was like, damn. Like, damn. Fuck, man. This shit is insane. These people that don't even handle their own lives correctly or well, they're here doing all of this shit. And it's just unbelievable. Like, when do you stop? At what point do you exhibit human decency? Like, this is fucking insane.
If she would, they have to think about if she were ever to do anything
Harm to herself.
then they all could be potential murderers. And do you think that it doesn't happen?
Happens every day. But I'm guessing Tiffany Marie would be happy about that.
She might. Right until the point she was arrested.
That's right.
And summer fell off. And she was the most beautiful, intelligent girl I've ever known in my life. And I miss her with everything I have.
Candace just talked to Donnie. Donnie said to tell you he loves everyone and prayers and thank y'all.
I don't have nothing, but I
Sometimes you have to lose everything to gain.
That's it. My mom just said sometimes you got to lose everything in order to gain or to even attempt the trail back to get it, to reobtain it.
And he's doing it with much grace. He could be really angry and resentful. And
let me tell you what, he's in a 23-1 situation. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, that means 23 down, 1 out, right? He's got 1 hour to do his recreating, to take his shower, to make his calls, 1 hour per day. And I don't even know that he gets to use I did hear that there's actually
free phone?
No, it's not free. Hell no. That's how they pay for prisons, is through the phone and the commissary. Everything else is extra. But he's in I'm hearing he's in a cell that has a phone, or was. I don't know. I don't know the validity of that at this point. I don't know.
And he's still able to lift and support up his wife.
And
all of everybody else.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that a 23-1 scenario isn't necessarily, it's not a confinement or a seg situation. Some jails just do 23-1, right? I was in a jail in Michigan for 2 or 3 months on a 23-1. That's worse than prison. In prison, at least you get to move freely for large chunks of the day. Here, it's a 23-1 scenario, right? So, I mean, he has options. I don't know about his trustee option. I don't know any of that. He could apply for trustee and be out of the cell during the day working a job. I don't know, but. I swear, this internet. Don's in a 23-1 scenario. Doesn't mean necessarily that he's in confinement. Some counties just adhere to a 23-1 schedule. That's all they have. That's the bare minimum. right? That is the very bare minimum. That is what they have to allow by law, is 1 hour out per day, even in a seg situation. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he is somewhere for the purposes of detox or for the purposes of a behavioral infraction or a ticket, right? That doesn't mean that. Very well could mean everyone in Hawkins County is on a 23-1 situation. Okay? Having issues with this damn internet. You're going to have to bear with me. It's either God said it's enough, or the devil is playing this morning. But I got something to say either way. Damn. The ability to do this streamless is almost completely removed. You just can't even. Something's always going to be fighting you. Fighting you. Everything. Now the damn computer won't charge. There it goes. Oh. And then you got to try to find time to miss everything else, right?
Right. I have to, and I don't like staying there. And I don't want to stay there at all. But I have to put her on the side.
Now, she said put her on the side. Man, this internet is really doing the fool this morning. Blessed be Christ in heaven. She said put her on the side. Put her on the side. Putting her on the side. She did not say put Summer to the side. That's not what she said. Right here. She has put Summer to the side. No, that is not even what she said. She said, I have to put Summer on the side. To the side means something completely different. To the side sounds like back burner. And that's not what she's done, Tiffany. You're fucking gross, Tiffany. And you can't even relay the information back correctly. You fucking numbskull.
And worry about the boys because they're still here. It's still living. It's still.
That's what Tiffany wants. Tiffany wants her to ignore the boys so that she can backdoor Candace and say, oh, well, what about the boys, Candace? And then when she puts the boys in the front and not to the side, she doesn't care about Summer anymore. Tiffany, I hate you, Tiffany. I hate you.
Foster care, and I don't want to do that. I can't do that.
That's an impossible choice as a parent to have to make. I can't. Oh, no, it's very possible if you ask Tiffany. Very possible.
I can't do that. I can't.
Thank God Tiffany only has one child, because if she had multiples, she'd pick a favorite.
When
I hate you, Tiffany.
I buy something for the boys, I have to buy something for her. There's no choice. I don't have a choice. With all 4 of us.
And I don't hate anybody. I don't even hate Ziggy. Don't you know Ziggy is loosely trying to be a part of the ethics committee and summit we want to have? This shit right here, this means you're not fucking welcome. That's what that means. Tiffany, you're not fucking welcome.
My kids, I love them all the same.
You hear that? She loves them all the same, Tiffany. And because she loves them all the same, to her, it makes sense to put Summer on the side. Not to the side, but on the side. And I'm guessing that's still right on side of her.
There's no choice on my kids. I don't have no favorites in my kids.
You hear that?
I love them all the same.
Isn't that crazy, Tiffany? Someone that you think has less than normal intelligence has the emotional intelligence to love all 4 of her children that she has in her custody the same. There are many women out here that are doctors, lawyers, executives, entrepreneurs, but in their heart, they have picked a favorite child. And here you have a woman that you think is less than you that can do it better. Have you had a chance to talk to Don at all?
You know what? Donnie called me 2 nights in a row, and when he first went to jail, but lately he's been calling Colette, and I can't accept Colette call. So I have not talked to Donnie.
Blaze Fairchild, I sure hope that that's not the case, because that would be a complete dereliction of what Ziggy has agreed to.
At all. In about 5 days.
Yes, we are live. Has anybody else talked about it?
His sister has. Sonia.
I will be calling Sonia today. Sonia, if you're watching, be expecting a call from me this early afternoon, please, madam. Thank you, beautiful. I guess, Sonia, if you're watching, I'll be
You know, Connie talked to when he called her.
Man, why the hell do I got an echo?
And I tell Sonya what I want him to hear, and he tells Sonya what I want to hear.
You hear that? This woman can't even, before today, can't even speak to her fucking husband. Can't even tell him it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, baby. So, you got a letter from the judge, right?
Yes, I did.
I'm going to go ahead and read that.
You want me to read the letter out from the judge?
Yeah, go ahead and read that letter from the judge, would you?
Hold on, let me get back to my thing.
All right.
And I will read it.
I read it earlier, but I certainly would like for you to read it.
All right, well, hold on, I gotta get to the right place.
Yes, Nelly, I want to see growth in Ziggy. I really do want to see it. Thank you, Lens of Grace.
Good morning, Candace. From Judge Ross today. He was sentenced to serve 11 months and 29 days. And after serving 6 months in jail, the court will consider allowing him to enroll in a complete and inpatient or residential program. The jail does not have a program. He must serve 6 months before he would be allowed out to attend any form of treatment. I'm not sure why the media came up with this. The treatment in jail.
Yeah, so the media said that he's in jail for pleading guilty to a DUI, which is not accurate. Also, the news reported that there was going to be an inpatient program for Don to attend while incarcerated in the Hawkins County Jail, which is not true. What it's looking like is he's serving 2 90-day terms for probation violation. I'm guessing it's looking like, to me, typically a probation violation hold is typically 90 days, the first one. So when you stack 180 together, I'm deducing there's 2 violations. It's not a thing.
That's not what I said.
Because for the first DUI minus the violation, there will just be a fine and potentially a restricted license, whatever accessories could come along with Don's situation.
In court or wrote on judgment.
Right. And let's be clear, Don's not in jail for the DUI. He's in jail for the probation violation.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's not went to... Yes, it was his first DUI. From what I understand, he's not went to court for the DUI. I can give a little insight that they did not perform. I'm going to tell you how I know, because Don asked me for legal advice. He said, should I take it to the box or should I plead guilty? And I asked him all the things that I needed to know in order to qualify giving him a response. And he told me, and I said, take it to the box. Don's going to take it to the box. Anybody that doesn't know what taking it to the box means, it means take it in front of a jury. Take it all the way to the box. Take it to trial is what take it to the box means. Field sobriety test, and that they did take his blood, but it was over an hour later. So, yeah, so he's going to fight that one. Yes, during this time with the pandemic, I think that a lot of things are plausible and possible. I don't know, but there is ways to file paperwork for a compassionate release due to the pandemic. They were letting stone cold rapists and killers out of jail during the pandemic. So, nothing is off the table, in the words of Ronnie Lawson, in my opinion. All the way to the box, and that's not anything they take care of that quick. So, do you have? I won't even ask that question. Let's see here. Tell me, are the boys in good spirits? I don't want you to say anything else, but are they in good spirits? Yes or no? Yes. Ryan, you can fight a DUI. You can fight a parking ticket. It's America. Innocence before guilt. Any infraction or breach of ordinance, there is the ability for, first, you to defend yourself. Secondly, to have an attorney appointed to you minus any relevance of being able to pay. Okay? They're what?
They're doing their best.
Good. Breeze, that would fall under compassionate release.
All I can tell you.
What are you looking forward to right now? I mean, other than, of course, the
right now?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what are you? I mean, in terms of when you think of, what Candace can tackle in the world, given this strange occurrence where it's just you. Like, what are you trying to?
So right now it's just me right here, out here in the free world, and I'm tackling.
Dad's still asleep. Wow.
Different rooms, and I'm doing
Yeah, you got the bathroom checked off, right?
Yeah, the bathroom's done.
Now, for anybody that I didn't really touch on that last night. Candy went through and she knocked the bathroom off the CPS list. There were some concerns in regards to the head. So that is, yes, Rap, you're exactly correct. You never submit to a breathalyzer or a field sobriety test. You go straight to jail, don't pass go, and you ask for a blood test. That's what you do. So yes, let me finish. Candace, she made the very needed changes in the bathroom, whatever those were. I do not know what they were, but they were checked off.
So, like this weekend, I'm gonna hit the basement and I'm gonna hang sheetrock. And
is your back better? I'm still waiting to hear something. I bet there's a whole bunch of men on YouTube that don't even know what it takes to hang drywall. From some emails, not email, sheetrock people. Now there was a couple of different groups of people that had offered to let us utilize some help from them, and I know that everyone's kind of getting.
Hey, if I have like 2 guys and me, we can do the basement.
Okay. Well, I have another iron in the fire as well. So let's just give it a few more days before you go trying to lift that sheetrock. Okay. Correct. Breathalyzers can be faulty. Breathalyzers also need to be calibrated, much like the speed radar. These things are they are machines, but subject to being faulty due to operator misuse. So, I mean, a few more. I mean, the sheetrock is.
I have a lift too.
You got a sheetrock? You got a sheetrock jack?
I got a sheetrock lift.
Listen to that. This lady knows how to work a drywall jack. Hoo-ah. Okay, well then. There ain't much to that. You just jack it. You tell me this woman don't love her kids and she's going to be down there hanging. And let me tell you what, they ain't 4x8s. Most drywall is 4 feet wide, 8 feet tall, 32 square feet in total. What Candace has is 40 square feet panels. She's got 4 foot wide by 10 foot long. So there's an added 2 foot of materials on the end of that, making it that much more difficult, right? Put up there and screw it off.
Put it on the lift, and then we take it to the top of the ceiling and we hammer it in.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean, as long as you did, yeah. I mean, that's a very easy way to do it by yourself.
I'm just trying to get it all done in my house, like next 2 or 3 months.
You know, what's interesting is that everybody wants to, steal things that we put out there in terms of this family. But you can't get not one person to go over there and help them hang not even one damn sheet of drywall. Not fucking one. Not one.
So I can pray to God and bring my...
So I'm going to pay to have it hung. Thank you very much, Tiffany.
boys home. You know, my boys, I think of summer and I play for summer every night and every day.
Yeah.
But I also have to think of the boys.
I agree.
I love summer.
Yeah, Tiffany just wants her to worry about summer. She probably just want the boys to stay right where they are. Isn't that right, Tiff?
With all my heart.
I mean, it's many. I mean, it's potentially hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of law enforcement looking for your daughter. And so, yes, I agree that, I hate that it is, it's a kind of scenario where, the public, or you might even inside yourself feel like you've got to make a choice, and it's not a choice. It's just it's what you got to do, right? No choice in it.
I don't have a question.
You see how Tiffany made that a choice for Candace, right? Candy just got through saying This isn't a choice. It's what has to happen. If Don and Candace would have had the ability to compartmentalize the loss, which I don't think any parent is going to really ever have that. But if Don and Candace could compartmentalize their loss of Summer and then subsequently the 3 boys, would have been much easier for Don and Candace to get all that stuff in the house done. We agree on that, right? So we should have figured out a way to help them help themselves. That's what we've been trying to do this whole time. A portion of this community has been trying to get them to help themselves. We've even put our hands in the design and tried to help in concert. Can you imagine that now Don has peace? There is some relative ease for Don, although he may not be admiring it right now. There is a peace for Don that he's not going to be able to explain at some point in his stay. Don knows how to kick it in overdrive and how to get with the structure and do easy time, right? You don't want to think about pulling all 180 days to the door. You just worry about the day that's in front of you, or you worry about making it till lunch. And then after lunch, you know what I'm saying, you get your balls swole again and you make it till dinner. And next thing you know, you can go 2 and 3 days without having to get your balls big again, right? I'm telling you from experience, you can make every single day a month at a time. You can keep looking at the clock. You can keep doing all the things you're not supposed to do to make your time go fast. Because really, there's only 2 days you worry about. The first day and the last day. Yeah, 23-1, man, that's worse than prison. I guarantee you right now, there were times I did short 90-day, 120-day stints in county jails that was 1 for 1, which means serve 1 day, get credit for 1 day, and then be on a 23-1 lockdown. And then let somebody act up, and then you lose that hour some days. A whole day without taking that shower. That's right. You don't.
I know.
You don't. You don't have to pull that time like that. You can pull that shit so easy. You could pull it so easy that when you get out and you're in the free world, you can look back and appreciate that 6 months or that year that you gave back. It doesn't have to be the worst situation of your life. It could be the best. Location is all about perception, right? When they used to let me out for rec, you know what I would do? I would go over to the fence and I would stick my finger through the fence. Because for a moment, for my finger to be on the other side looking back at me was enough. For me, I get my balls up by looking at the birds. I'm thinking, you silly bird, you think the worms in the grass is better over here? Well, to him it was. Received a statement from Don. This was a statement that Don wrote. I believe it was directly before he went to jail. I wouldn't share a cookie I dropped on the ground and picked up to blow off before the 5-second rule went by. I wouldn't even share a dirty cookie with Tiffany. I swear for God. I'm going to go ahead and read that with Candace here. Says, hold on. Says, Pinky, I don't know what the situation is there for the good time. A lot of places only give you 1 day a week, and that's going to be for Sunday. Some places don't even give you every Sunday in a month. I don't know what the scenario is. I'm going to call and find out. Just wanted to thank all. Sometimes on a violation, it's day for day, right? Like if you're not trying to work off, when I say work off, when you go to jail, you're working off a daily monetary, like for you to be present in jail, the state gets paid, or rather the county gets paid by the state for you to be incarcerated. It's like a grant, a scholarship, if you will, to go to jail, right? So while you're there, And some counties are different. You owe a bunch of traffic tickets. They'll say, okay, well, we'll let you work off $180 a day in jail. And let's say you owe $360. That's 2 days in jail. You get it? All YouTube creators, LOL. Dallas, I think, gives almost $300 a day credit. So there's people that thought they was doing, 2-3 weeks for traffic tickets or the like. And then you go in, and however the database does the bookings, you might go to book in and then straight to book out, get your clothes and leave. It's just a walkthrough, just to make sure that you just 4 hours or 6 hours. I mean, that's a quick ride in and ride out. Sometimes it takes 18 hours to get booked out. There's only one creator, God. But I wanted to thank you as you've all. What's up, Vida? I see you. Ella. Been very helpful and an answer to my prayer. I was so naive. Jesus said, you must hate the world and love God with all your heart, might, mind. God said, hate the world and everything in it. Strength. We know what that means. So I said, God, I don't understand this. I'm so perfectly content with my beautiful wife and beautiful children. Please help me understand this. Then summer was gone. Then my boys. I turned to so-called YouTube creators for help. What a joke. After 7 months, yes, I hate everyone's ways, but a very few. Thanks for helping me understand just how evil this world really is. Yes, now I hate the worldly ways of everyone, even my own. But now I have an eternal love for God and understanding exactly what our God has been through himself since day one. And that's a fact. There isn't anyone in this chat right now that's been persecuted more than the Wells. I assure you. There's been no one abused like these people have been abused by the system, by each other, verbally, emotionally, right? I only have very few friends in this evil world. Thank God. Listen, we know divorce rates are 50 to 75%, depending on the year. And that's people who just have what? Money problems. You imagine how many marriages would stay together if everyone had the opportunity to lose a child? There'd be no marriages left in the world ever, or at least in America. For them. You know they are the ones that Satan attacks constantly. Now I understand what Jesus meant. Guess what? I'm assuming, I'm deducing with a fair accuracy that the only way you could ever fully know or accept what persecution is actually like, it's until you've been persecuted. Many of us think that we've met some threshold or standard of persecution in our lives. And I assure you, if you measure what you thought was persecution against what these people have actually went through, and you will relieve yourself this morning of the obsession that you have been oppressed and persecuted. Look at the Wells. That's persecution. Arrow is the way. Guess what? Persecution is even way past cyberbullying. Persecution means you've already sentenced them to death. You just got to walk them to the cross now, Tiffany. Way and very difficult and few. There be that find it. The king of this world, Satan. He may have my daughter, but not for long. His time. The king of this world. This world. Not the kingdom of heaven. Is short. You know him. He has one of your family members on drugs or messed up or somehow deceived, divide, destroy. You know his work. Jesus says, turn to me and I will give you rest. And God bless you, Camden. Cam is going this weekend to help hang some drywall. God bless you, brother. I'm telling you, bro, I think I only seen 10 or 12 sheets there. So it's not a big deal, right? You go, get the corners tacked, get the middle tacked, move on. Then go back through all at one time and screw it all off, right? Not a big deal, man. You can get that done in 4 or 5 hours, bro. I promise you. I'll pay for your gas money and I'll pay for your lunch too, okay? I'll pay for your lunch. Thank you for his goodness and all the peacemakers on the earth. If it weren't for them, we would all be completely lost. Thank you, God. Everybody shouts out to Cam. And shouts out to Allie for allowing Cam to be of service. We've got to get this thing knocked out for her. We absolutely have to get this done. This is now moving on to the portions of the bedrooms downstairs, which have everything to do with the children. So we also need about a 10 or 11 foot wall, Cam. And I know that that's not going to happen. I mean, I can come down and frame the wall up. That's no big deal. But it needs a wall when you walk in the mudroom, the left wall where the air conditioner is, back by the 3 feet past the bunk bed, the end of the bunk bed, a wall across going to the kitchen, towards the kitchen wall, with an opening framed out for a door, a 3-0 door. So we can get all that done. That's not a problem. Jesus, Holy Spirit, good angels, and all of God's children on the earth. Thank you for saving me from myself and all my evil thoughts, from that downward spiral of hate. That right there, I want to let you know, that is Don accepting the fact that he's going to jail, and silently he's ready for that reckoning. Remember that. There's no coward in Donald. There's no coward in Candace. Envy, pride, drunkenness, and all manner of evil. Thank you all, and please keep fighting the good fight, my friends. Donald Wells, February 6, 2022. This is for you this morning, Tiffany. Day before he went to jail. You still there, Candy?
Yeah, I'm still here.
What'd you have for dinner?
Pizza.
You ever just reached out to Candace, Tiffany, and asked her what she had for dinner? I mean, we ask strangers that we don't even know more personal questions than what you ask these people that you've been tormenting for 8 months in one day. Because remember, you said it yourself. You've been involved in this case since when? Hour 8 or hour 9? You've been on this thing 8 months and a half a day. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. What kind? Pepperoni sauce? Where's Pootie Booty? What? Huh? Supreme. Did it have the little green things and little red things on it?
Yeah, I just don't like the olives.
Oh, girl. See, the olives you could pick off. Amen, Mandy. Thank you, beautiful. Before you get started, that way the juice from the olive. Aspen, we're going to get all to it. Well, I'm not just going to end this thing abruptly. We're going to ease. We're going to taper it on out. Just don't go in there, you know?
That's right.
Yeah, man. I always try to think ahead. You could just use a little fork and just blink. They pop right out.
Yeah, pretty much. They're puppies. They like the olives.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Can dogs eat olives? Hey, Carrie. Good morning, beautiful. You better be careful. You better be careful. I don't know if they do or they don't. But what are you doing tomorrow?
What am I doing tomorrow? I am working on.
So her plan was, or her plan probably is, because you're not going to tell Candace what she is or isn't going to do. So I'm guessing she's probably down there probably fooling with some drywall right now. Meanwhile, she's been forced to put her daughter on the side, Tiffany, not to the side. Okay? To the side is the wrong vernacular. And I think that what's really troubling about this is that what you did was you substituted one 2-letter word for another 2-letter word that completely changes the connotation of this thing. Completely. You should be ashamed. But while you're thinking about what's going to be your next rip to get 0.004 cents per view, Candace has now been forced to make a decision, if you want to call it that, moreover that the world came in and parted things. She had to put her daughter on the side for right now, bring her boys into the focus, because guess what she's got to do today, Tiffany? She's got to think about hanging 40 square foot pieces of sheetrock. The only thing that you know about sheetrock is pounding holes in it to put nails to hang your pictures. That's it. This woman has to hang it to get her boys back. So maybe if we just, in Tiffany Marie's words, put Summer to the side, well, shit, then we don't have to worry about nothing. No drywall, no 3 boys, no Donald in jail, nothing. Nothing, Tiffany. You know, so many people told me the good things that you connotated about the conversation we had the other night. Like, oh, I see it all different. You saw it different for 14 minutes after I talked to you, and that was supposed to be the conduit in for you. That's right. That's right. What you need to get a wall across there still, don't you? Like from the end. Not to mention she's got to worry about trying to get a bunch of 2x4 8-footers up there in order to frame up a wall, which I'm going to do for her, Tiffany, because I grew up as a framer, as a concrete finisher, as a steel erector. So I'm going to go down there and throw the wall up. But she's also got to worry about getting screws or nails. We got to get a door. We got to hang the door. We've got to pick out some door hardware. There's a lot of things that have to happen that you just cannot do when you are completely debilitated. I applaud Candace's strength in order to be able at 8 months compartmentalize her life to be able to push forward for the children that need her also, Tiffany. The bunk beds towards the kitchen?
Yes, sir.
Man, shit. I might have to come bring my silly ass back out there and hang. I'll tell you what, Tiffany. There's about 7 or 8 2x4 8-footers there. That's not enough. Okay? So she has to go get this wood. She's got to get the correct fasteners to put it all together. We've got to bring this stuff in the house. We've got to build the wall inside the house, Tiffany, because you're not going to get an 8-foot wall through a door that's 6'9". Because that's, Tiffany, if you didn't know, most doors are 3069. So you've got to build that inside. You got to bring a saw in to cut the wood. Right? Got to have a screw gun to install the drywall. Right? Got to have a tape measure. Just like Ernie Shell says, you got to measure twice, cut once. All out there.
You know what I will.
And I would say, Tiffany, before you go ahead and do shit like this again, you need to measure twice, cut once. Okay? Okay. Yeah, well, if I call you from the tip of the...
Guess what, Tiffany? You made a comment like this last night. Now you should look in the chat this morning and see that there's over 800 people in here being very supportive. You need to do this once a day, every day. So then chasing truth can grab a hold to it, do what she did to it, and then I can sneak in the back door here and continue to drive the nails home. And that is not any sort of spin on the construction work that needs to be done at the Wells house. Sorry, we got storms on the way. So, yeah, Don was working on the house. Put in a whole new kitchen floor, laminate flooring, all through the kitchen into the bathroom. So,
any and all mail for the family that's not coming for bills or what have you, please send that to the SDA church, and we will have the SDA.
And I probably shouldn't say this, but a friend of mine is gonna pay on the car note and the car insurance.
For how long?
She didn't say.
No way. Like, if he can get out in 6 months, do we know how long they want him to be in treatment until he can get out?
No.
Like, are they going to say something like he's got to do 6 months in jail and then 6 months in treatment?
I was just, Shannon just texted me.
And said what?
She said, ask me to unblock sister of it's Dave Marie's husband.
I don't have no way to do that. Sorry. I got to do it from a different computer. I can't. No, thank you, Lovey. Sorry, Shannon, I can't do it from right here. I got to do it from a whole other computer. So, but I will. I'm not sure why he was blocked.
Thank you, Mandy. Love you, beautiful. Thank you.
I sure hope I don't make a mistake by unblocking him.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if I could be speaking with Jay Marie either.
We don't need to speak to anybody, Candy. Nobody, beautiful. They're all going to be the same right now. All of them, right? There's such a huge lack for content now that Donnie is no longer around and capable of coming up here. But it's just so unbelievable how I could wake up in the word to right here. Mom, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
If Candace makes a comment and she says, right now, I have to put Summer on the side because the boys are still alive.
That's right.
What this woman did, changed it. She changed the word on the side to the side. That's a big difference, isn't it?
Yes.
she has to put Summer to the side because the boys are still alive.
That's right.
That's right. That's the wrong verbiage, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And so for me to
it changes the context completely.
Completely. Context queen looking ass. I woke up and I am fucking irritated about 2 letters this morning. That this fucking numbskull, she didn't have to change the whole statement. She just had to change 2 letters to completely fucking mutilate the context of what the fuck Candace said. Graham Bam. What you got to know is that Candace and Don for 8 months been told that after 3 or 10 or however many hours that she's probably not alive. And so then when Candace makes a comment that's in line with what all of you believe anyways, you jump on and say, oh, she just said Summer is dead. Is that what she said? Does that mean that she knows definitively? Or does that mean she's taking all of your word for it? She's tired of bucking against you. She's tired of saying, I think she's alive. And then everyone's saying, well, Candace, statistically after 3 hours and then 10 hours and then, people that are trafficking don't typically kidnap children because that brings too much heat. What they like to do is traffic them in place. They don't want to have to feed them and clothe them and house them. They don't want to do it. That's too much. You have to have too much contact with the child in order to do that.
To listen to him cry.
Listen to him cry.
Listen to him say, I'm hungry, or I got to go to the bathroom, or I'm thirsty.
Or listen to the other sounds it makes.
Yeah. See,
when it's not what you want it to be.
I'm going to have to find, when Dad gets up, that piece of paper we have on the grief cycle.
Yeah.
There's many stages of grief. And we are going to grief counseling right now for the loss of our own daughter. It takes 1 to 2 years to go through the grief cycle successfully.
That's if you're doing it at a healthy rate.
Some people will never make it there. There are like 5 or 6 stages of grief. And I'm not going to parrot them off to you because, to be perfectly honest, I don't know all the stages. People randomly go to each stage without any control of it. And the people closest to you are most likely never going to be at the same stage at the same time. And it's all normal.
Yeah, you're not going to run through grief parallel with your wife who lost a child as well.
But the very last step is acceptance. And if so, the baby is found and they get to celebrate, they are merely just going through normal cycles of grief. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
A lot of us grieve when we lose a dog or a cat or a bird or our favorite car that Dad or Grandpa gave us. We go out and we crash and they grieve it. This is a person. Let them go through their cycles. Let them and pray that they hopefully get to acceptance. And if God has another plan for them and this baby is found alive, she probably won't be well.
She'll be very, very, just
injured.
Shattered, very injured.
Leave the family alone. Let them go through their cycles. It is none of you all's business.
It's not even my business, especially, right? Like,
no, you've been invited in it. You are not you in the grief cycle for her, for Summer?
Deep in a grief cycle. I'm grieving Summer. I'm grieving the loss of the boys with them. I'm grieving Don being gone because he can't be here. Don has to pay his debts to society. That's just the way due process works. I cannot stand here as a sentinel for due process and also believe that, well, we got to give Donnie a pass. It's okay to drink and drive when your child's missing. That's just not so.
But it is part of the grief cycle.
It's part, yes.
But when you make bad choices, then there's consequences.
That's it.
Isn't that how you all discipline and raise your children, you give them rules and you give them consequences. So then it becomes a choice on what they choose to do.
And all you can do is foster the environment. That's it. That's it. You are getting a whole ton of love right now, Mama Keys.
Well, you know.
I don't even know who that person is. So
Gate 3 is Julia.
that doesn't ring a bell. I don't know who this lady is, and I hope that.
Well, tell her thank you.
Thank you.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, and in this, and there's so many little tangents off of this whole concept. You're picking on someone that lives in Tennessee when you think where you live is better. You're picking on someone that looks different than you, talks different than you, thinks different than you. Why aren't we finding the beauty on the inside of the person?
Do you have to have beauty on the inside of you to be able to identify the beauty in someone else?
Yes, I think you do.
Can you be completely
Well, are you
ugly?
talking about inner beauty?
Yeah, inner beauty. Like, can you be completely ugly on the inside but see the emotional and spiritual beauty on the inside of someone else?
I would have to think on that, but if I just parroted to you the first thought I would have, I would say, no, you can't.
I agree.
There's going to be many listeners that, you know, will comment it and have their own opinion, but you know what? I'm entitled to my opinion. And this isn't even about me. Everybody's making this about them, and none of this is about them. It's all about the Wells as a group and individually.
It's not about any content creators.
You know, I would tell you when one of our grief counseling sessions, we had been over at our daughter's, packing up her house and cleaning it to put it up for sale. And her neighbor came over and made some off comment remark that just so irritated me. And I kind of verbally let him have it. And then I went to grief counseling and told our counselor about it. And she usually is on our side, my side. But what she said is, let all of the people that were connected to our daughter grieve in their own way. I do not have a right to tell him how to grieve.
That's it.
And that was a big eye opener, because it's like, don't you know this, or don't you know that, or it's none of your business. But everybody is entitled to grieve correctly. But those are people that lived in her life. Not you people that just choose to drop into their life, make these foul statements, these incorrect statements, to inflame the whole emotion. You know, you were making big bucks on this. I don't know what to say, how I feel about that. You don't want to know how I think.
Yep.
It's not about you. You don't get to grieve because you're not in grief. You are in battle just to make a few more thumbs up or a few more dollars. You know, the cost of losing someone from your life, whether it's just that they are misplaced or that they are dead or have died, is so much more than any of you people will ever begin to realize.
Let me ask you a question. Let's say that I was 5 years old, and on June 15th, 2021, I went missing. And after 8 months of me being missing, which way would you feel? I mean, honestly, would you have hope in that I would come back alive, or would you more lean towards wanting to believe maybe your child was dead so that there were no more suffering?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think.
Which one?
Oh, that my child were dead so there was no more suffering.
Yeah.
You know, and I can say that because when you were 5, and it's nobody's business. I went through some scary things with your dad. And I do have an opinion, and I have a right to an opinion.
Now, I want to context that by saying that, you know, my mother has worked in the medical field for over 40 years, and that, you know, in her business, there's a thing called a bad save.
Yeah.
What's a bad save, Mom?
Well, the worst, I would tell you, I would come home from work and my children would always ask me, because I worked in the emergency room, did you have anything good today? And you have to separate yourself from work to go home and have a life, because isn't that why we work, so we can have a life? It's a difference between a vocation and a convocation. But I'll tell you, the most tragic things that I still remember today are the things that happened to children. And I did see bad saves.
And so a bad save equates to what?
A child that we resuscitated to die 5 days later.
Or a child that you resuscitate to go on and have no quality of life whatsoever.
Yeah, the really bad ones that come into the emergency room don't leave the emergency room to go home. They go to the morgue.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I used to date a nurse. She worked at Children's Hospital here in Dallas, and she worked. She did the what was it? She did the sexual assault.
Well, she did it all, but
Yeah.
you know,
She specialized in.
they rotate you through it because you can't stay in one horrific area too long and not have it affect you.
Yeah. She really specialized in doing the sexual assault kits on children. And she never spoke about any of those because I think that Kelly was able to compartmentalize it and look at it like a job and not really.
No, she had a heart for children.
Yeah.
She has a bunch of kids herself now.
Yeah.
And she had a heart for children. You don't go into a children's ER and not have a heart for it.
Yeah.
But you do have to leave it at home.
Yeah.
Or at work, rather.
But I do remember one time she worked nights, and so she
don't disclose anything that could be a HIPAA violation.
No. We, you know, our days started in the morning time when she got back from work, and one morning she came to my house and she was just a mess, just crying and bawling and just hardly consolable. And I was like, baby, what's wrong? What's wrong? And she had a little Hispanic girl who had come in that night, and her dad raised pit bulls, and one of the pit bulls had bit her and ripped her bottom jaw off. And
so no, thus why we hate pit bulls. And thus why we killed one when it attacked our dog.
Well, it just, you know, it just is what it is. And so the dad, he brings his daughter in, and he's got her bottom jaw in a fucking Ziploc bag with ice on it. So it's, you know, it's a real reality, you know, like oh man, you know what? I remember Jolene bringing me to the hospital because it was my mom's birthday. And we went to the hospital after seeing a movie. This was my mom's best friend back in the day. She was a nurse in the ER as well. And I remember walking in like back behind the desk, and it's like, oh, we're in the ER. And I vividly remember Jolene asking a doctor or a nurse, someone there, like, where's Mama Keys? And they said, right over there. And so we went over and we opened the curtain, and there was a man that had been shot in the face with a shotgun.
Hello?
And
hey,
everything on his face was gone. And there was my mom up on a step stool with a tool cutting on this man's face. And I just remember walking in and like he was propped up and she was doing her business and there was people around and I was like, and it stuck, you know? And I say all that to say that my mom's comment about her preference of a child being missing for 8 months, you know, bringing a child home at 8 months, in my mom's opinion, like as a responsible parent and someone that cares about children, you know, I think that it's being really real to look at this scenario in a way where you're like, okay, can you imagine a scenario of, I don't even know, like this starts to venture into territory that YouTubers can just manipulate, right? But I kind of have a tendency to agree with my mom, because you start to look at,
Oh yeah, definitely.
what comes after
And at that point,
scenarios of just extreme violence and abuse, minus being killed,
but
you know,
might try
and
that first. That might be all.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's so much quicker.
It's just kind of where it's a very uncomfortable place to think about privately.
Yep.
But
That's
of course,
what I would
it's
do.
almost impossible to try to dictate and articulate, you know, how I feel about it to you guys right now.
Yeah, but
I don't know, right? Like you have to be able to look past just the screen, right? And I think that's the qualification, right? Like what qualifies Benny? What qualifies Benny is that he stands in the gap for due process, which automatically means that he's the bridge for the Wells. When they need to go back and forth, Benny's
and that's a very
the
good
bridge.
too.
Or people like Benny, we're all pillars in a bridge, or we're all spokes in a wheel. I don't know. It's not for me to judge. I'm not Jesus, right? I'm nobody to the scheme of this. I'm just trying to do the best I can. And let me tell you, the best I can, it's not going to always be positive. I'm here to tell you, the best that I can also is going to look like what I did to Trisha yesterday. The woman has been spiritually and emotionally attacking these people for 8 months, put out the most disgusting photos with the connotation that it was this missing little girl, and made it seem as if she was in a compromising situation in a bed with an older man lurking about. Then yesterday she quintuples down, she infinity downs, and says that I perform sexual acts on animals. So you got to know, when I say that I'm going to do the best that I can, the best that I can also means tearing you out the frame online. I'm just sorry to say it. If that means that the things that I've done here and that I've done in the past to defend these families, which just means that I'm a pillar in the bridge of due process, and if that means I never make it to crime con, then so fucking be it. Because I'm not here for money.
I'm here for due process. And I'm here to be recognized for helping other people recognize that due process is a real fucking thing. That ought to be the first qualification to go to CrimeCon, not views or subs or hours watched or how much money you make, but do you believe in due process? If you can get a badge and you can come in the door. When does this community put accolades on people that do the right thing? Because guess what? Nobody in this community that we watch gives a damn about CrimeCon. CrimeCon is the standard that you have to be recognized internationally. Internationally for your works in these cases. And where does one gauge their bias? Well, everyone always gauges their bias by self-biased. But Scapegoat, I would entertain you to go back through some of the videos of mine. I hate telling people to, hey, cállate, perito. Hey, go back through the videos, and I did a very extensive look into biases in all the different types. Please. I'm not hollering at nobody this morning, man. I'm just a little bit, I'm fired up. Why are you fired up, Benny? That's why I'm fired up, because of the word to. I mean, it makes a big difference when you say, put Summer to the table or put Summer on the table. You completely butchered this. And it's not even what she said. You just put two in there to get 203 likes. Guess what, Tiffany? You could have reported, let me tell you what, to all you people, you know what? Hey, cállate. Let me tell you the cheat code right now. The cheat code is that if you act in the spirit of due process, all of these victims and secondary victims to the cases, they will run to you. They will tell you their secrets. They will tell you their life. They will tell you anything you want to know. You don't have to scream across the little app on your phone to do it. You don't have to show how nasty your life and your spirituality is by the way you behave on this place here. Hey, give me a second. Let me take care of her. She's not going to stop. You're not barking for mama, you're barking for me. Look at that. No, I can't get it. I mean, damn. Moving forward.
I think she's pretty cool. I've been talking to her off and on.
Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is good. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is good, please. Damn, my blood pressure, man. I almost went old Benny. Like I'm pulling myself back right now. No static. Man. Like for real, man. Let me chill out for a minute. Like it ain't even that serious, Benny, but like she's trying to make it that serious, Benny. Like, oh man. And this is the thing. She's never going to grasp the logic in what this does to the context. never going to grasp it. She's going to come on and further double down and make the people that watch her bullshit believe that there's no big difference in the change of to and on. Let me show you really quick, Tiffy. It's really simple. I hope you can get it, looking ass. Okay. This is a backpack. Now, I'm going to put the backpack on my back. See, it's on my back. Now, I'm going to put it on the side. This is still with me. It's just right here. Instead of being the first thing, I can't do nothing else, really. So she's put it on the side. Now, let's take Tiffany's connotation and context. Let's put it to the side. Yes, to the side would mean exactly what you want it to mean. But that's not what she said. She said on the side, not to the side. Let's do it again. Now, let's make this make sense, Tiffy. If you got it on your back and you say, put it to the side, what about put it to the side is going to make you think of this? If someone tells you, you come in the house, got it on your back. They're like, hey, put that to the side. Now, you're going to walk in the house, same backpack, same Benny. Mama Keith says, Benny, put that on the side. To the side is over there. On the side. Now, let's imagine this. Benny's got a big pen. It's a big old 40 cal pistol. Put it on the side. Put it to the side. The fuck are you talking about? Yes, to the side suggests that you're going to disregard it. But she said put it on the side. That means it's still focused. It's still heading forward with her. She just has to free up her other hands to do other stuff. You got it? It's not that hard, Stiffy. I mean, my son, I guarantee you, if I told my son, he would do two different things. If I said, hey, Luca, put He-Man to the side, he will put He-Man to the side and disregard him. Now, if I say put him on the side, he's probably not going to know what to do with that. Because the issue is that to put it on the side is to put it on the side. Let's imagine you got a pot on a stove. You got 4 burners. Somebody says, hey, hun, put that to the side. You're going to move that motherfucker to the counter, ain't you? Or if somebody says, hey, move that on the side, you might just move it over a burner. Or it does leave you with yet enough room to move it also to the counter, leaving you 2 options with 1 word. That's in that situation. I hope that I have made this as Crayola crayons, the big box, the 64, 4 rows. Holy cripes. Now, people, read it. The number's going to go up. It's not going to say 203 anymore. What do you do with it? You can't do anything with that. You can't try to invite that in to, you can't ask that to come in and be part of an ethics summit. You guys ever heard of the G4 summit? These different summits that are gatherings of like-minded people and people who can professionally agree to disagree, all under the umbrella of getting one thing accomplished, and that would be a whole arena of ethics, morality, and professionalism. Look, she's even doubled down. Look at this. I have to put, look at here. Somebody else put it right. Look, I have to put Summer on the side. You see it right there. Evil exists. Right there. Let's look at Tiffy's. To the side. Looking ass. Wow. Wow, looking ass. 2 on. You're not too good at this. The G20, whatever, yeah, G20, yeah, whatever it is. Summit. Humanity Summit. You flipping flabbergasted numbskull. Look, I don't know anything about evil exists. I don't even know if they're reputable. I don't know anything about them. But I'll tell you what, this shit right here, not reputable looking ass. And guess what? Before I reloaded it, it was 203. Now it's 208. So what that means, in about 20 minutes, enough people have already watched this that only 5 idiots escaped and got over there to like that shit before they came here first. Yeah.
But you know me, I'm kind of on the back burner and kind of down a side pal.
How's your mom doing? She all right?
My mom's okay, I think. I don't know. I haven't been over there tonight.
Then it must be okay.
I'll try to kick her out of my house as again if I get you.
There you go. But it's the best kind of kick her out, right? It's like, okay, I love you, but get out.
Right. Yeah, right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my mama, but I gotta leave my face.
That's it. Cindy Lynn, Lean, you got it. Chasing said it perfectly today. Life goes on whether we are grieving or not. She cannot help certain
Ellie's hands. She needs to continue on to get the boys back. And this morning, she's fucking doing it. She said last night, I cannot let this feeling of absolute paralysis hold me down another day. Candace, you get up and you hang that fucking sheetrock if you want to, girl. I'm not going to stop you. You hang you some fucking sheetrock. You're right, CG. Sometimes you got to tell a dragon they're pretty to be able to stand in front of it. You got to know, please don't listen to the things that come out of my mouth when I'm talking to a dragon. You got to know I'm going to always talk sweet to a dragon.
That's the beautiful thing is because,
Look here, you can't go in the woods and run up on a bear by screaming. Man, you got to sneak up on a bear looking ass. Sometimes you got to act like a bear. So in order to attract a snake, you got to act like a snake. Dig it?
You're not as alone as you think you are. I mean, you could, go next door and, talk to mama or whatever, I mean, it's.
Well, I'll be alone in a little while. It's March.
Yeah.
It's legal.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll come down there in March and throw that wall up, and you know what I'm saying, or hopefully, what is it today? Today's the 16th or 15th.
It's the 15th of I don't know, it's not 15th anymore.
Yeah.
But I know it's the 15th, and
guess what? It makes for great content for Tiffany and the bunch if Candace keeps on focusing just on Summer. So as the rest of her life falls off the bank like the edge of the land that Jody Sue was trying to steal, you can backdoor her and report the fact that she ain't taking care of the boys or writing Don in jail or doing the things that she needs to do for herself. That's what you want. So you keep baiting her with this bullshit, Tiffany. Please fucking stop it. Get you a floor heater, lay on the floor, and put that motherfucker right next to that cold, ice cold fucking heart you have.
You have brightened my evening, Benny.
Hell yeah, man.
Hope. That's the very only thing we know that we can reinstill or reinstall in these people. And let me tell you what, Tiffany, in the event that I cover another case and in due process puts me next to somebody that in a relative short period of time, I realize has something to do with the abduction or harm of their own child, I'm still going to be nice to them, because if you be nice to them, there's the real potential that if you give them hope, it's hope that they have the strength to make a confession. Don't you know, by being nice to somebody, they'll tell you everything.
That's all I was trying to do any damn way.
I was crying, and then when I got to you, I started smiling.
Can you imagine Tiffany coming online and crying because of some drama that happened on YouTube? Right now, she's currently battling with Ernie Shell for him to get Tina Simmerly to remove a post about her carrying a controlled substance into a correctional facility in her female lady cavity. It stopped being about anything else except for the allegation of her vagina in a controlled substance. Please, Tiffany, please, I'm begging you, please fucking stop.
You make everything.
I make it easy like Sunday morning, yeah. You know what? I try.
Love you, man.
I love you too, sis. I love you too, sister. Anything else any comments? Ooh, Let me ask you this. How was church last Sabbath?
Oh my Lord Jesus, let me tell you.
Was it this? Let me tell you what, there's people out there that are like, oh no. Oh no. She can't go to church and enjoy herself. Her daughter is missing. Oh no. She can't have a meal and enjoy it. So guess what? She took all her teeth out. The woman is living in your fucking worst nightmare. You'll talk shit and then take the money that you make from this little girl and go chew on a fucking steak. Meanwhile, Candace can't even chew on a fucking steak. You got to have a heart in there somewhere. You got to have a heart in that cavernous, cold receptacle that you call a chest. Some fucking where. Sermon you needed to hear?
Oh man.
She was the first one to rip this shit off without asking. Guess what? Fair use, it's fair use. When you're just regurgitating the same titty milk. But when I put in the stress, the grief that it takes to provide this stuff to people that care, and then to have some fucking wench like you steal it, manipulate it, and not even put the right fucking verbiage on it, you're deplorable. You are fucking deplorable. This is going off track quickly.
And I was so in love with church. I was sat next.
Or people will say, oh, look at her. She's in love with the church now that Donnie's gone. She couldn't have loved the church while Donnie was here, or couldn't be feeling more support now than maybe she ever has. Because let me tell you what, don't you know every fucking time some of you dumbass YouTubers, even some of you dumbass people in the chats and whatnot, you call over there to cause trouble. That's it. Or if you call, you're like, how's Donnie? Nobody ever asked about Candace. She's been marginalized in her own daughter's disappearance. She's been, Tiffany, put to the side. Not put on the side. You put her to the side in her own daughter's disappearance.
Robin for like 30 minutes. And there's this little girl. I can't tell you her name.
Okay.
But there's this little girl, and she looks just like Summer and acts just like Summer.
Oh.
She begged me to sit with her, and she pleased me to sit
Guess
with her.
what? You can't change it, and you'll never stop it. You want to know why? Because there's enough people that dislike me with a passion that's fueled by a mental illness that will pay her to keep doing this shit, not because they like Tiffany but because they dislike the Wells, but because they hate me. They hate me. Fucking unbelievable. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I did this. This isn't no pat on the back. You people, you would use this as a pat on the back. This ain't no pat on the back. This is me talking to a lady who I've become friends with over the course of 8 months, all the details, 2 polygraphs, and watching you persecute her and me feel like the only one trying to prop this shit back up.
Oh my God, she is so awesome. Like,
Oh, I know which child. I know who you're talking about. Oh, that's yeah, that's.
She makes me smile. She messes with my hair and colors on my face with markers.
Yeah, because that's the stuff that people that are involved in the abduction of their own child after 8 months take joy in, right? People after 8 months probably stop going to church. probably try to move away from the scenario.
Blame God,
whatever. These people have been embracing God. They've been fully cooperative with the law enforcement, the feds, the TBI, state, local, federal government, all EquiSearch teams. It's only because making money off the negativity is where it's at.
it's criminal.
Oh my God.
It's criminal. And let me tell you what, if you don't believe it's criminal here, guess what? It says in the book, the big book, thou shalt not judge, right?
Well,
how does it go, Mom? Tell me.
Well, there isn't one, thou shalt not judge,
Well,
but there's many stories or parables about, you know, a splinter in your eye or a piece of wood or not throwing, you know.
Throwing stones. It's the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the passing of judgment when you're not qualified to even pass judgment on yourself. Most of us aren't even qualified to really relay to you what we think we are because we're clouded, right? It's always going to be somebody on the outside be able to tell you better about who you are that's been watching you than you. So the real bare bones of judgment, because you're not qualified to even judge yourself, you have no business pointing out the log in somebody else's eye when you have the stick jammed in yours. And yes, say, judge not, for you shall be judged.
Yes, thank you.
That's awesome.
I smile every time.
I'm not qualified to judge you or myself. I'm qualified to only point out the failure. I am qualified to point out the failure, as I can point out my own failure. See, it says to be emotionally intelligent. You cannot be emotionally intelligent just by looking at someone else's situation. You can only be emotionally intelligent by first identifying your own emotions and being able to control them. Then you can look outside and qualify other people's emotions because you are a master of your own.
I'm walking into that church and she says,
You should tell them, you know, how many times has your mom said to you, you're entitled to have an opinion, but you're not always entitled to express it.
That's it. You're entitled to an opinion, but you're not always entitled to express it.
my heart.
Okay, so we
Someone loved that little girl.
yeah, I know they I've heard a beautiful.
I can't mention no names, you know, man.
No.
Because I can't put that little girl out there like that.
No, I understand. Because guess what? Everybody else that came up there and already put that little girl out like that. I know a very tender story. You know, that little girl is quite a blessing to many people. And
She's a blessing to me.
yeah, she really is. I've never met her, but I've heard she's quite the blessing.
God, you could miss her. Yeah. I wish you could see her.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day when I
will.
Yes, one day you will. One day I will. Escape Goat. You know what? Thank you for building the architecture for that question. It isn't hurting or helping, though. It is it destroying or demolishing? Because you can destroy something and keep it in pretty big pieces where you can still identify what it used to be. Or you've got demolishing, and that's where everything is in a fine powder. It's like taking the World Trade Center and breaking it down to things you can hold in your hand.
Nothing, no chance for a rebuild.
Right. Can't tell what it was before. It's completely demolished. I come back and I go to church with you. Might have to make that happen.
Only God knows what happens from here on out.
That's it.
That's right.
That's absolutely. Yep. That's absolutely. Well, I will. I'll let you off here.
You know we're going up to Michigan. We need you here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you.
My number on.
When are you going?
You have a good
Next 2
night.
days.
No,
You too. I'll holler
next
at you
week.
before I get off here. I won't
Or
be too
next
much
after
longer.
next weekend.
Have a good night.
All right, sweet.
We
All right.
had plans to go up to Wichita Falls.
Okay.
Love it. Okay.
So, want to take a moment, take care of some other business. FindSummerWells.com. I'm going to do one more thing before we close out for the morning. 3 things all YouTubers can do to be helpful. Where are we at here? How can YT creators actually help? This is how a YT creator who truly supports Summer can assist in finding her. It should be on every segment that mentions the case. 1, and it's 1 because it's the most important. Always show her picture throughout your YT cast. The pictures are available to share are the approved ones on the website. Nothing else. Please do not create your own flyers for dissemination. We want only the 2 flyers that have been created, disseminated, so that we can create the continuous look, right? People get used to seeing the patterns. They know what the face that's on it. You start distributing other mock-up flyers, and then it becomes confusing. Please stay with the 2. I know that we have some real mentally ill people that when you tell them these are the things they can actually do, they're going to do the exact opposite. And for those, I pray.
Self-control.
Yes. It should be on every segment that mentions the case. 1, most important, always show her picture throughout your YT cast. The pictures available to share are the approved ones on the website. Number 2, always promote the website. FindSummerWells.com. The website has the information the public needs to assist citizens in maybe identifying her somewhere, reporting the sighting to the TBI, and thus leading to Summer's rescue. Promote the flyers. Link on the website during each YT cast. Flyers of Summer's can be downloaded, printed, and shared. If you're wondering where those are, it's in the flyer subheader there, right? These are the flyers. Please, nothing else. Please. Actually, in fact, I asked it. You guys keep a lookout for anyone that is mocking up things to be informative, but it is not the official. Please, let's kindly ask them, to stick with the program. Okay. This is Summer Wells. Summer Wells, age 6, birth date February 4th, 2022. Sex female, race white, hair blonde, eyes blue. Height 3 foot, weight 40 pounds. Those 2 things may have fluctuated to some degree. Missing from Rogersville, Tennessee. She's been missing since June 15th, 2021. Anyone with information regarding Wells' whereabouts is urged to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Again, if you have any information regarding Wells' whereabouts, we urge you to please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Now, with that taken care of, I want to bring up the petition that we've created in the spirit of summer.
This is our petition. Okay. This isn't a competition. We're not here to compete for bigger numbers. Like if you see a petition that makes sense and it has forethought and it has insight and it gives a great context as to what it's actually asking to have happen. Okay. This one is called or labeled Stop the Exploitation and Solicitation of Crimes Against Children. Okay. We wish to stop the exploitation of crimes against children on all social media platforms. Our aim is to stop people creating content for the sole purpose of sensationalism. We talked about unnecessary sensationalism in the Code of Ethics. If you breach the sensationalism, you are in breach of the ethics. Okay. Our aim is to stop people creating content for the sole purpose of sensationalism and personal profit that exploits young victims of crime. Furthermore, in the chase for justice, these creators are also meddling and polluting the jury pools. There is extensive data that reflects the power social media plays on due process. Holy cow. There may be some other petitions out there. Don't be confused. We have this one put together, I assure you, like no other. This is very, very put together, okay? Now, I don't want to have to read all of this, but I feel like I haven't done it in such a long time that it probably needs to be done. Okay. It cannot be stressed enough that we understand the importance of circulating the face of missing children to ensure members of the public will recognize them if they are spotted within the community. We appreciate this is the exact purpose of Amber Alerts, and we also understand traditional media and social media are integral tools to be used in publicizing Amber Alerts with the goal of locating the missing. However, traditional media and now social media plays an unsavory role in exploiting child victims and inflicting secondary victimization on their family members during what is unequivocally the worst moments in their lives. The damage this causes is far-reaching and lasts many decades after the traumatic event, not only for the victims of the crimes and their families, but also for the communities who pay for the wide range of public services that go towards investigating and solving the crime, as well as treating the lasting psychological aftermath and even the punishing of the perpetrator. While some of our concerns were neatly bundled in a Netflix docuseries in 2020 named Trial by Media, and also addressed in another Netflix docuseries in 2021 named Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. These documentaries only cover the media shenanigans involved with adult victims. Our concerns extend to child victims, their families, and the financial strain placed on the communities that these crimes occur in. In support of Summer Wells, her siblings, her parents, her neighbors, and the Kingsport community, we want to highlight the unnecessary and confounding issues that have been thrust on them by an unruly mob who is profiting monetarily from their pain, suffering, and ongoing search expenses, ranging from thousands of false tips that waste the time, resources, and funding of law enforcement, to the defamation and slander of family members, to putting siblings in danger by strangers sneaking around their property in efforts to generate social media content, ultimately causing them to be ripped away from their family. On top of the trauma of the child remaining missing, we do not believe that the provisions of more information from law enforcement will curb any of this unruly behavior. Our reform missions are: 1, to encourage law enforcement to enforce the law. This is one for a reason. We're not asking for new legislation. We want
current laws on the books to be enforced more regularly. State and federal legislators have given law enforcement the tools to punish offenders of stalking, trespass, cybercrimes, obstruction of justice, and other citations that could contribute to curbing the above-mentioned unruly behavior. These methods are employed in other countries with some degree of positive effect. All that is required is for law enforcement to actually enforce them. Number two, to establish a code of ethics applicable to true crime content creators. There are no easily locatable internet resources for content creators to learn about ethical behavior, the laws that govern their behavior, or what is expected of them in social community guidelines as it pertains to primary and secondary victimization. Professional journalists have easily locatable code of ethics that they are well versed with, the presence of which allows the public to call out unethical behavior with some precision. To encourage social media, number three, to encourage social media giants to include reporting tools for the exploitation of children. Currently, reporting tools only address sexual exploitation and bullying of children. They do not address exploitations of victims of other crimes or primary and secondary victimization. Just as we protect religion and race or gender neutrality, we also need to protect victims of crime, since the same social stigmas are attached to and perpetuate the same behaviors. Number four, to enlighten the public about social stigmas associated with victimization. Why is that? Because we live in an American society where we blame victims. So, I know that's a lot. That's where we're at this morning. So, I urge all of you that have not been a part of the furtherance of this petition, then I ask that you please graciously, you've heard the body. You're going to hear other people say they have a petition. You're going to hear some people say, well, we're going to take it more seriously if someone takes us seriously. Like, no, we took it seriously. Like, this is the sort of verbiage that you would expect to hear come out of a legislator. This, Ernie, is a real bill that you should have gotten behind. But I'm telling you, I'm so grateful that you didn't. Okay? I'm very grateful that you did not get behind that. Thank you. Please do not exploit our anti-exploitation. I don't even know what the hell it is you're doing out there. I can't anymore. Ernie talking about, I'm not going to read that. So, y'all with me? You feeling me? Can you dig it? Ernie is sick for what he is doing. I don't even know what he's doing, and I don't want to get fired up, man. You know, I ain't got the time today. You understand me? Like, man, look here, I don't even like fish, but I got bigger ones to cook. I don't fry shit. I'm cooking shit. You dig? I'm cooking it. Ruby Pearl, go on back about 7 minutes and catch it up. You'll see it.
It'll say change.org. It'll have an orange subheader at the top. I just read 10,000 word essay, man. I'm just, like, voila, hola. 2, man. 2. I think that's what I'm going to name this video. I'm going to name it 2. Sounds fitting. I might just make it a lowercase t. I'll make it look just like that. Hold on. Let me take my screenshot right now, matter of fact. And you know what's strange is she knew what she did when she did it. And then she doubled it down by putting up something that had the correct verbiage on it. She knows what she did. She's going to come on here and call it an accidental blunder. But if you can make that big a mistake with 2 letters of the alphabet exchanged, you're dangerous. You are certainly fucking dangerous if that's what you're capable of doing in real life. Like in real life. If you're look at this shit. She knows what she did right here. And then put up the right shit in this one right here, look, on the side. Why can't, that person was listening. But I'm guessing because Evil Exists posted it, it's got a nefarious context to it, I'm guessing, because Tiffany wouldn't share anything that goes against exactly what she said, except for she shared exactly the opposite of what she said. We went through the whole backpack thing, like, we're not going to do that again. Looking at us. I'm just not. Like, man, fuck a whole bunch of this shit, man. I'm sorry for the words. Like, let me, in the words of the great Ernest Shell, let's have a word from our sponsor really quick.
How are you, sir?
Hanging in there. Just praying for my daughter, buddy.
I'm going to go ahead and bring Mr. Wells on. Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances.
That's what this is all about. Prayers. Thank you for all the support. And I know Don has turned a lot of hearts around.
Trying to do everything the best I can,
Oh, that's a good one.
That was my whole life, was coming home to my kids. Prayers for Summer and prayers for everybody. God bless you, guys.
Jenny Penny. Chainsaw Tonika looking ass. So, I don't know I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where we go. I don't know where I'd be comfortable heading to. I'm not even sure. It's a hard situation to try to even digest and unpack at this point. It's like literally everything has been taken away and everything is split. The boys are over here. Thank God they're together. Summer's wherever she's at. Don's way over here. And Summer's way over here. Like everyone is suffering the absolute extent of extreme. But wait. There's more. There's more. Be careful. Two. Let's find out what two means. Just because we know what two means. Definition of two. I just want to make sure that Tiffy understands the definition of two. Looking ass. I don't know what's happening. Maybe that's such a dumb question. Google won't even, they don't even understand it. Oh, shit. I don't know what's going on. I think we all pretty fairly can assess what the hell two means. Well, I guess that's really all I've got for right now. Still very early. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Internet's tripping. We got a bad storm on the way. That's the thing. To call ourselves content creators is like such an accolade, right? It's you're either a piece of shit or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're either a piece of shit or you're not. You dig? It ain't nothing in between, right? Like, you're either a piece of shit or you're not. Let me see if it'll work now. The internet is really tripping. Two, expressing motion in the direction of.
a particular location, walking down to the mall, approaching or reaching a particular condition. Christopher's expression changed from amazement to joy. Used with the base form of a verb to indicate that the verb is in the infinitive. Used without a verb following when the missing verb is clearly understood. He asked her to come, but she said she didn't want to. Definition of on. Physically in contact with and supported by. Forming a distinctive or marked part. A scratch on her arm. Physically in contact with and supported by a surface. Indicating continuation of a movement or action. Meaning that if Summer was in the front, she's putting her on the side, indicating continuation of the movement she was currently in or action. Do you see how you completely fucked that up with regular archaic English? That's pretty much just how I did it when I did the whole, the whole visual with the backpack, right? Like, hold on. Yeah, she's not even going to deal with Ernie. Ernie is just fired up because last night he ended up in the behind scenes, and I banned him from the studio. Like, you know what? I've realized it's far too much business. Like, it's too many people on Ernie's head. It's too many people on Trisha's head. Like, I got teammates that clearly want to tie these people up so that I can keep doing what it is we do. Thank you. Man, see what happens, Tiffy? See what happens, internet, when you do dumb shit? Guess what? We can get Candace to turn the internet off. We couldn't get Don to turn the internet off. Sorry about that. We can get her to turn it off. So this shit that you do on the internet, it don't mean nothing to her. Nothing. She don't give a fuck one. Don had an ego involved. Somebody'd say something and he got to come on here and whatever. Candace, it's going to be easy. She got too much to do as a mother now. Who is Nelly? What has Nelly done? Nelly. Wow. Yeah, sorry, Nelly. We all give a fuck over here. We all give a fuck. Okay? With that being said, remember, ladies, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. I love all of you. It's only 11. We done got the important, real professional business out of the way, and we handled it like heavyweight champs. grace, style, ethics, pizzazz. We made it look good. How are you, sir?
Hanging in there, just praying for my daughter, buddy.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring Mr. Wells on. Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances.
That's what this is all about. Prayers. Thank you for all the support. And I know Don has turned a lot of hearts around.
Trying to do everything the best I can, you know.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was my whole life, was coming home to my kids. Prayers for Summer, prayers for everybody. God bless you, God.